Did any problem on worksheet 45 give anybody trouble on the front? Okay, then let's review how to write the rule here when we're translating a point. Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at number 2, because I did have a lot of questions about number 2 yesterday, actually. So remember, when we have the translation given to us and we have to write a rule, the trickiest part is figuring out where we need to start, right? So am I going to start on this left point here, or am I going to start counting from this point on the right of my graph? On the right. Why do you say that? Jordan?
There's no more space to go left.
Say that one more time.
There's no more space to go left.
There's no more space to go to the left. That's why we're starting here with this just plain G.
If the G moves to the right, if the G1
Okay, I see what you're saying. So we have to start here because we're going to have to move to the left. That's okay. You're on the right track. I know what you're saying. We're going to start right here because there's no apostrophe, right? This is our pre-image point. You always want to start on the letter without an apostrophe. All right? Now, are we going to start going up, or are we going to start by going to the left? Because this is actually important. What are we going to do first? Move up or move to the left? I see some people pointing to the left and saying to the left. That's absolutely right. You always want to do your X movement first, because that's going to be the first number that you write in your rule. Sorry, here you go. We always want to do our X movement first. So starting at our pre-image, G, without an apostrophe, we're going to count out 1, 2 spaces. And did we go to the left or the right? We went to the left, right? So is that going to be a +2 or a -2 if we're going to the left? -2, right? Moving to the left is a negative movement. So we're going to say for our rule, the first thing we need to do is X minus 2. Now that we've got the X movement out of the way, we can take a look at what the Y movement is. All right? How many spaces do we have to move on the Y-axis before we hit G prime? Just one space, right? And do we go up or down? Up. So is that going to be +1 or -1 in our rule? +1. That's right. When we're moving up, that's a positive movement. So we can write Y +1 in our rule. G prime over here is our image, right? Just some vocab review. Yeah, pencil sharpeners up on that desk in the front. All right, so that's how we translate a point, or that's how we write the rule for a translation of a point. Let's go down to number 6. And let's talk about number 6. So I'm having trouble figuring out where to start. Can someone help me out which point I'm going to start at? Because there's 6 points here, and it's kind of confusing where I need to begin. Can someone help me out? Azalea, go ahead. Start at R. So right here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Did anybody else start by counting from right here at R? No? Nobody else? Oh, a couple people? Okay, good. Does it matter what letter we start at? No, as long as it doesn't have an apostrophe, right? So we could start at R, we could start at P, or we could even start at Q. But we cannot start counting from any of these points up here, because this triangle is our image. Okay, I'm going to shade it in just like I do all my other images that we draw. Okay, so we're going to start counting from R. Are we going to start counting up, or are we going to start counting to the right? We're going to start by counting to the right. Do your X movement first. Left to right first. This is probably the only way that you're going to be able to make a mistake with this kind of work. If you start by going up, your brain is going to tell you to put that amount of spaces after your x in the rule, okay? Don't confuse yourself like that. Always start moving left to right. Here we see we went 2 spaces to the right. Now we're going to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces up. So we could write the rule x plus or minus what? Someone help me out. What's the rule that you guys got here for number 6? Plus 2. And then y? Plus 5. Absolutely right. So what this rule tells us is that wherever our pre-image is located, it's going to move 2 spaces to the right and then 5 spaces up. All right, any questions on number 6? Show of thumbs real quick. How confident do we feel about writing these rules ourselves? It seems like we're pretty good at it, doing decent. But let's take a look at one more on the back. And I think it was, yes, number 8 that I wanted to talk about. Yes? Yeah, go ahead. So there's 2 different ways we can write the answer for number 8. There's the technically correct way, and then there's the, that's all right, that's still correct way, okay? Let's see, are we going to start with the top triangle or are we going to start with the bottom triangle? Definitely the top triangle, right? I'm going to take point L here, and I'm going to count how many spaces do I have to move to the left or the right? 0, right? I'm not moving to the left or right at all. I'm just moving down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So when we go to write our rule, we know that going down 5 spaces gives us minus 5 after the y. Remember, going down or up is a y movement. But what can we write after x if we didn't move at all? 0, right? But not just 0. Plus 0, right? I did see a good handful of people not putting the signs in between the letter and the number here. Definitely make sure you include that plus or minus because that's the direction, right? If you just put y5, well, that could be either 5 units up or 5 units down. So you need a direction and an amount. Now, this way is fine to write it. If you left it like this, that's totally fine with me. I don't care. I know exactly what this means, and it's correct. But we don't really need to write plus 0. We could just write this rule like that. X, comma, y minus 5. This rule shows that we're going to move 5 units down in the y direction, but our x coordinate is going to be unchanged completely. Sound good? Good.